Prayerfully doing well. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in the cover sight. He is our strength and our Redeemer, and it is in His name, His authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, protect, and protect today's message, our mind of tonight's message. Shalom, peace, peace, peace. May the Most High be upon thee and your family. We give all praise and honor to the Most High. We give all praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Alma, who lives a life that is able to be honored. As always, you can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A-N-D, the letter N. Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, a herbalist, chemist, and biologist, biologist by degree. Tada, Masha Pache. Thank you, family, for being on with us. We appreciate you to ministerial staff, secretary, moderators, SOC, Lottie Dar, and everybody. Thank you so much for being on with us. We're going to say our Bible pledge, and we're going to jump right in. Amen. Patreon, we'll see you on Wednesday. Those who are coming on with Minister Lifestyle on Wednesday for When Life Happens, she'll see you. Those coming off with Elder Select Tamara on Wednesday, she'll see you as well. Amen. But let's go ahead and get ready to get started. We're going to say our Bible pledge. If you're able to stand to your feet and reverence your Father's word, or however you're able to join us or do so, we thank you so much for being on while you're doing that. We're going to go ahead and say shalom to everybody real quick. How you doing, Ray, Jay, Furniture Store, Reginald, JK Fam, Big Brother Thomas, Fantasy Mason, I don't know how to say this one, Ladima Malik Milagro, I'm not sure if I'm even in the ballpark. How you doing, Havoc, Rodney, Sister Snatch, Jeannie, Sister Mignon, everybody, sorry if I'm missing, trying to catch as many as possible. How you doing, Darius? May _ B3B3 or May BB, possibly. How you doing, Jeannie? Thanks for the love. Sorry, YouTube, trying to get on track. How you doing, Brother TJ? Thanks for allowing me to participate in your live. How you doing, Minister Stephen? How you doing, Sister Knight? Praise God. Thank y'all for the love. If you feel free to like this, share this with somebody, let them know that we're on. Thank you, everybody, for being on with us. Those who've been with us, early rising Bible study session, men's meeting last night, all the stuff that we did on Saturday, the regular live session earlier today, training, and even the live session today. We appreciate you all. As a reminder, I will have tomorrow off at Patreon. I will see you guys for a special live session that we started on Wednesdays. We'll see you guys again this Wednesday coming up. But hopefully all is well with everybody. Let's get ready. Let's get started. Let's say our Bible pledge and jump right in. You can repeat after me. This is my Bible. This is my sword. And this will I trust. For Yahshua is Lord. No sword of God shall ever be heard. For this is my Bible. And this is Yah's word. Amen, which is in His name, Hashem's authority. Amen. Appreciate you all. Also, too, for those that are in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Grand Prairie area, all that, Mesquite, et cetera, et cetera. I was going to try my best to see if we can go through down south. We did make it down south some, but we are going to have to kind of hit Route 20. So if we didn't see you this time, there might be a possibility we'll see you later on this year. If not, we'll have to see you guys next time we come through, unfortunately. Prayerfully, we'll have an opportunity to see you guys again this year. But thank you guys who were able to come out and see us. I know we had an issue getting over here and everything as well. But prayerfully, y'all will make a way. It was a blessing to see those who we could see. And thank you, everybody, for praying for us as we're continuing to be on the road. But let's go ahead and get ready to say our Bible. Oh, no. We said our Bible pledge, right? Did we say our Bible pledge? Somebody tell me. Did we say our Bible pledge? I got a bunch of this going on in my head and all around me right now. How you doing, Brother Aaron? Did we say it yet? Yes? Okay, thank you. I thought we did. So, so we'll see you guys on Thursday for Thursday Rising Prayer for the live session. As we get back into our Body Shot series, I think we're going into Genesis 25, and or finishing up Genesis 24. So thank you all for being on. Appreciate, love you all. So today I want to talk about, as far as the thing Holy Spirit has led me, I need to, I'm led to by Holy Spirit to speak on a specific topic, the topic of discovery. And really what I want to bring to you is discovery. Everything that they say is a discovery is a lie, right? Or at least we have to approach it that way, unfortunately. All right, we can't say outright everything that is a so-called discovery is a lie, but we have to look at the culture that we're in. And a lot of persons want to tell us that there's discoveries here, there, etc. Right? A lot of persons want to tell us that when somebody has discovered this and that. But what persons tell you are discovery, we have to look at as lies. We live in a system to where we have to be honest and say a lot of things that persons have told you are discoveries are lies. Right? We have to. Unfortunately. Why would you say that, Kofi? Well, I have to say that because how you doing? I saw somebody say T-Boss, all right. Your local people. Right? How you doing, Brother Lamar? Everybody coming in, Minister Morales. Somebody said, well, why do you have to think of all these things that they say are discoveries and lies? Well, it's a culture. It's a culture. How you doing, Elder Select 9? When there's a culture that tells you they discovered things that have already been and are been appropriated, then we have to start looking at, are these lies? And thank you for the love. We got to start asking questions. These things that they're telling us they're discovering, are they truth or are they lies? Right? Apparently, Western medicine discovered C-sections. Is that true? No. C-sections were going on in places like Uganda that wasn't even found out about until the late 1800s. Really, some persons would even say the 1900s. Okay? Somebody said they discovered America. How do you discover a place where somebody lives? Matter of fact, the definition of an American, the original definition of an American is a copper-colored person indigenous to the Americas. How do you discover where somebody already lives? How do you discover a people? How do you discover a people? How do you discover a nation? How do you discover persons who live together in harmony? How do you discover persons' languages that they speak better than you do? Right? We gotta have we gotta have a little bit of dialogue, don't we? Right? What they tell you are discoveries are lies. Once again, what they tell you are discoveries are what? They are lies. We gotta have some honest dialogue. They keep telling us that they're discovering things about us, about you, about our family, about our community, about the earth, and we start realizing these things a lot. Matter of fact, you know what really got to me? You know, what is it that Peter says on Family Guy? You know what really grinds my gears? You just started learning the C-section workshop? All right. You know what really grinds my gears? You know what really gets to me and irks me? Is that I really like to watch shows about animals. Animal Planet used to be my thing. That used to be my jam before they stopped talking about animals. You know, MTV used to be about music, and now it's not. You know, all these different things we used to watch. VH1 were about videos, now it's not. BET used to be black, somewhat used to be about black entertainment. You know, now it's not. Right? Even if there's black faces on it. But what really messes with me, so I used to be an Animal Planet guy. I used to be a National Geographic guy. I used to be a History Channel guy. But especially on Animal Planet channels like that, National Geographic, I used to love it when they would show us all the stuff about the animals, right? And I used to learn so much. How you doing, FYAs? Thank you for the love. I used to learn so much. Until I started realizing that, wait a minute, lemons. I used to even play a game in elementary school in the computer lab, right? If you got your work done, they would let you play this game called Lemons. And we would play the game over and over and over again. And we would try to get to all these new levels. And the goal was to try and make sure that you got the lemons to go to the end, not just fall off the cliff, right? Because according to science, supposedly, lemons just run off of cliffs. Then come to find out that places like Animal Planet, National Geographic, Discovery Channel, I think it was even Disney, might have had something to do with this one in particular. But come to find out, lemons don't fall off of the cliff. The persons who were making, how you doing, Sister Taylor? The persons who were making the video, how you doing, Sister Beck? The persons who were making the video ran the lemons off the cliff, recorded it, just so they can go ahead and tell you that lemons run off cliffs. It messed me up. And then I started thinking about stuff harder. And I'd be like, wait a minute. How is it that National Geographic will show you an alligator outside the water hunting an antelope, then get the camera right close to the antelope, and even though the antelope's not in the shot, it's brought close, then back out and be able to show you the crocodile close again, then come back in and show you the inside of the mouth of the crocodile, then back out. I started realizing, wait a minute, some of this stuff is staged. I'm sitting up here thinking I'm discovering stuff, but they done discovered something, and they lying like I don't know what. What really got us, my wife and I, we were watching a Netflix special. It was a 4-part thing, and right, so 3 parts of it was talking about, I think, shrews and how much they had to hunt, how often they had to hunt, and then they showed you how they came up with the whole thing, where basically they had shrews that they had raised, they had little boxes that they had dirt in, they had little areas that were like zoos, and they put all this stuff together to make you believe that you were seeing a shrew in this natural habitat, and the reality is they were making stuff up. Everything was staged, that's right. Jarvis, that's what it was. How you doing, dude? Everything was staged. How you doing, Javier? Everything was staged. It irked me. It got me so irritated, so frustrated, so quickly, so mad. Because I was like, yo, I thought that I was learning stuff for real, for real. And I'm not saying that there's nothing I could learn from watching. Yeah, but that's right. It was an illusion. It was a magic trick. That's right, those cutaway pearls, stuff like that. And so I had to realize, what I think I'm discovering, that seems to be the culture of things I'm in. They lie to you, and they lie to you to make sure that they seem to be more educated and more elevated than you are. Right? But if we can go even further, there's something called the doctrine of discovery. Many of you who've been with us for a minute, you've heard me talk about this. You probably heard it talked about even without it. I even posted something recently on one of the TikTok channels. Might have been Kofi _ for the original channel, I'm not sure. Where it talks about the doctrine of discovery. But if you don't know, in the 1400s, I believe around 1453, or 1452, excuse me. I believe it was 1452, the Roman Catholic Church unofficially started a doctrine called the doctrine of discovery. A bunch of laws, or a bunch of rules on the book, if you will, so where they made it a point to say that basically if you were not Roman Catholic, and if you were not male, and they didn't see any of that wherever they went, to any place they went to, then none of those places had any persons or people that actually existed. Therefore, they were allowed to, or the people they would find, the persons they would find would not be considered really to be human beings. Therefore, they would be able to say they discovered the land, which is how you get to a place where you say, oh, wait a minute, so they discovered America? How they do that? Doctrine of discovery. How you doing, babe? My wife is on the Honorable Alma. So always check her out on TikTok, YouTube, the website, and Pinterest, at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She's a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist, by degree. Love you, babe. So we get into this and we go, oh, so basically what you're saying is, if you're not a white Roman Catholic male, or we can't find a Roman white Catholic male in places that we're going, because we're going to all these places that we couldn't really get access to before. Anywhere we go, where you're not a white Roman Catholic male, we get to say we discovered your land, which is an outright lie. Right? Whenever they tell you about this discovery, so-called discovery, it's a lie. A half-truth is always a whole lie. This ain't even a half-truth. This is a whole lie. This is a whole lie, 0% truth. And then they try to even tell you it was a half-truth. There's no half-truth to it. You see what really irks you is how the same people trying to go to discover the truth. Yeah. And thank y'all for the love. You see, so you have to really recognize that these persons have never discovered it. How do you discover land that somebody else cultivated? Watch this. How do you wipe out a people, not be able to build up what the people built themselves? You hear me? How do you wipe out true Kemetic persons? Right now you can't build what the Kemetic persons built. You don't know how to move what they've moved. And so now you have to come up with theories about aliens. Now you got to pretend that you discovered aliens that don't even exist. It's a whole lot. You ever seen that? What do they call it? Ancient Aliens show that be that dude with that weird hairstyle and he be coming on there. They be looking crazy and he's talking about there's got to be aliens because you know if you look up at the clouds and you look up at this and you look up at that, no, there ain't no aliens. You just don't have the ability to do what we did. You don't know how we did what we did. And so what do? You got to come in with a whole lot of lies to say that you've discovered something that they ain't even real. How many times have they told you that they've discovered neutrons? There's no such proof of neutrons. It's a theory, not a theorem, but a theory. They can't find it. The only reason they made up the theory of neutrons is because they told you a lie, which is that energy has to either energy has to turn into mass, or mass has to turn into energy, right? And the reality is that's not always the case. And when they can't figure out why that's not the case, they have to still lie to you to tell you that what they've been teaching you is true. So what do? You come up with something called neutrons. When you can't prove neutrons are there, and you can't put them under a microscope, anything. What do? Then you come up with a theory called neutrinos. These are all discoveries that are lies. The doctrine of discovery says that all we do is we go somewhere and we say that that you're not even qualified to be thought of as somebody who can say whether we're saying is right or wrong if you don't fall into a very Roman Catholic, masculine, misogynistic sensibility. Right? You said also, how can you be illegal on stolen land? There you go. Matter of fact, how can you be native to stolen land, but it be said that it's illegal where you stay? Matter of fact, how do you sign treaties that are illegal to sign? Because supposedly you would have to deal with those persons as people. But how do you deal with these persons as a people when you're a law, you're a legal law, but your law nonetheless says that if you come across these Native Americans, they're not even considered to be human beings, so therefore you shouldn't be signing contracts with them. They're not even considered to be human beings. How are they considered to be human beings if they're not white Christian Catholic males? You see, we got a problem? Right? So you're not even, any contract they said that they signed with them, they're not even supposed to sign a contract. So something's up. Something's not making sense. We're not having honest dialogue. We're not having honest conversation. Something not making the rounds correctly. Right? And here's the issue. This is the reason why we got to see about all this discovery. I'm not trying to get into white versus black, but it is what it is. Sometimes you can't run away from righteous conversation, honest conversation, right? So I'm not trying to make this a whole thing about white versus black, etc. But I gotta have honest dialogue. We gotta be honest. Can we be honest? I don't know how to do it any other way. All right? Y'all appreciate the honesty we bring. Let's keep it a buck. You ready? Look, the reason why your country, if you're still a United States citizen, right? The reason why the persons you're around, the reason why the situation you're in, how you know to say, the reason why all these things are in the same position, you ready? Here we go. Is because I want to go deeper than just Republican, Democrat. We're going to talk about how this so-called nation was built. False discovery, doctrine of discovery. I need you to understand that when chattel slavery started happening all over the place, and they started using the doctrine of discovery in 1452 and made it official in 1493, you know, the year after they sent Christopher Columbus over to find Israelite slaves. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sails the ocean blue. 1491, the last Moorish king was taken out of position. So 1452, they're already doing the doctrine of discovery. 1493, they make it official when they finally get over to other lands with the help of Negroes, by the way. Here's the issue that pops up, is that the Roman Catholic ways of the doctrine of discovery is what every person pushed to make slavery okay. So every king, the king of Portugal, the king of Spain, the king of England, the king of France, the king of Normandy, the king of Russia, the king of Prussia, the king of Croatia, all these kings, they went to the king of kings, which is supposed to be not Yah, but the Pope. And they had to go to the Pope to do just about everything. He had to okay it. And so how can we tell persons, how can the Pope, how can God through the Pope tell everybody it's okay to say that wherever you go, you get to say that human beings are not human enough to actually be human, and we get to discover and say what they are, who they are, and take their land. How can we make them slaves? How can we say what rights they don't and don't have? How are we allowed to do things to their women? And when I say women, we're being nice, because, you know, Christopher Columbus and them came over and were messing with 6-year-old girls and 8-year-old girls, and they did so much vile, disgusting things to them that the girls that were able to survive, and some of them were thrashed around so much by these men that they couldn't even survive. But the ones that were able to survive to the years where you would think the puberty would kick in and maybe they would get pregnant, they weren't even able to get pregnant, and the ones that couldn't have babies, they couldn't even feed their babies because they were so malnourished and their body was so messed up. So we're being nice when we say women, but we be honest. We're being nice, right? We shouldn't be, but, you know, I gotta realize what platform I'm in. So I'm gonna be nice enough to make sure we can continue this live. How you gonna shoot? But we don't be nice because we have to be, right? But the reality is these cats was doing all types of unmentionable things. How is it that they have the right to do it? They went to the Pope. They went to the leader of the church. Hear what I'm saying, beloved? I ain't lying to you. Read it, check it out for yourself, study for yourself, show yourself approved, bring it before other come, that you can be a workman, need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. They went and they went to the Pope and they said, your highness, your majesty, Vicar, Christ in the flesh. That's what they believe him to be. They said, hey, can you tell us why the Bible says, or why our religion says, that it's okay to do these things? Because, and he said, it's totally fine because they're not human beings. Salah. That's what he said. That's what he came up with, to make sure that they were okay doing all the vile things that they still do. Now, why is this important? Because this is a Christian thing. When somebody says, well, Pastor Kofi, these are Roman Catholics. Persons aren't Roman Catholic anymore. Here's the problem. Protestantism all over the world came out of Roman Catholicism. Whether you're talking about Western Catholicism or you're talking about Eastern Catholicism, you call Eastern Catholicism Orthodox Christianity. But it comes from the same place. I need you to catch that. What does that mean? That means that every place, if you do the research, that came out of Roman Catholicism, Protestantism, Christianity, all of those places that came out of Roman Catholicism, when they broke off and started doing their own thing, they still kept up with the doctrine of discovery. It's still their doctrine. I know you don't want to hear that, because wait a minute, no, especially those of you who are still Christian. No, there's no way, and we don't preach that, we don't teach that, we don't live by that. Every Christian nation still lives by the doctrine of discovery. Every Christian nation lives by a doctrine that says if you're not one of us, we get to declare what and who you are. Period. So that means, right? And somebody says, no, you're still trying to, no. English, when they stopped being Roman Catholic and became Protestant, they still kept up with the doctrine of discovery, and they still enslaved persons, correct? France, when they left from under the Roman Catholic Church, did they still keep the doctrine of discovery, and did they still enslave folk? Yes. Russia, when they came from up under the doctrine of discovery, and they started, they did Hebrew chattel slavery, and then they still enslaved folk. Yes. Spain, when they came out of the doctrine of, when they came out of Roman Catholicism, did they keep it with the doctrine of discovery, and did they still enslave folk? Yes. It is a centerpiece. It is the centerpiece to the masterpiece called racism, white supremacy. You can try to change it, flip it, say that I'm lying, say I'm going too far, whatever it is that you like. I promise you have to be honest about it, or you can be dishonest, but you're not going to be the truth. So all the stuff they tell you with discovery is a lie. Their doctrine, their cultural doctrinal thesis that they live by, that they give, that they get ace so that they can have their doctorate in wickedness, is the doctrine of discovery. Anything they tell us is discovery, therefore is a lie. You have to start there. At least that's where you got to start. Because if you can discover people who already have invented things that you can't invent. If you can discover people who have access to gold that you don't have access to. If you can discover, right, this is why France is getting mad at Burkina Faso and saying Burkina Faso was ungrateful. How is Burkina Faso ungrateful when they just finally said enough is enough? We don't have to pay you to send you what we already have, and then hope and pray that you'll send enough of it back to us and allow our children to not be in bonds. What they call discovery, it is a lie. Anyways, hopefully this helps. Hopefully it's something to think about. Maybe it doesn't help, but it's something that shakes you up a little bit, but it's truth. But we need to walk in truth. For a speech that shall make us free. Love you to life. You all take care. I got tomorrow off. Some of you, I know we got a call, talk, etc., etc. Also, too, as I was saying, we're going to try and put together a chat stream just for those who are going to be showing up for Memorial Day weekend. So if you're not in the chat stream by tomorrow or Wednesday, feel free to reach out. Be like, Pastor Kofi, I'm not in the chat stream. I need to make sure, or the text stream. So the text stream, I need to make sure that I'm up in there. I'm coming. And we'll make it right, okay? All right, love you all to life. You all take care. Continue to do great things. We give our honor and praise once again to the Most High. We give our praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Alma. Remember, as always, family, that you are loved, you are necessary, you are majestic, you are fearfully, wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in the system no longer have to be of it. Shalom. If you're trying to reach out to us, look through the Linktree. Get in touch with us through the Linktree. Get in touch through the secretary, etc. And we love you all. We'll see you on Thursday. Thursday for Thursday Rising Prayer, Thursday for the live session, Thursday evening for a meeting. We might start our watch party then, not sure. Also, too, we are doing our week where we're trying to do as little, really none, but as little. I'm gonna be honest, I messed up a little bit today, but no added sugars for the week, right? Just like we don't want to add anything to the word, okay? So love you all to life. You all take care. Continue to do amazing things, and we will talk to you guys soon. Take care, and love on each other if you can, please. All right, talk to you soon. Shalom. Peace.